if you are looking to put a product onto Amazon in Australia and you want to make some customization to it, and the supplier has come back to you saying, well, we will only customize your product if you order 2,000 units of the product. Obviously, you don't want to order 2,000 units because you want to test the product. So what the hell do you do? Well, first up, I never run a test for a product with more than 100 units, okay? I never run a test for a product with more than 100 units. Now, this puts you in a shitty situation. It's a catch-22 for sure, because you do not want to put much money or to have much money on the line for a product test. You want to keep your total amount of money that you have invested in the test to a minimum, but the supplier is telling you they will only do the customization if you order a large amount, meaning you've got to have a lot of money invested in the inventory, but you don't know if it's going to work yet. So what the hell do you do? So first up, for me, it's important to say that when I am testing a product idea, I don't have the I'm here to make money mindset. I don't have that mindset. Instead, what I'm focused on is validating my product idea. That's the very, very first thing that I want to do, is I want to validate my idea, aka, does my idea work? Does my idea work? And I want to find that out as quickly and as cheaply as possible. That's my two criteria. As quickly as possible, as cheaply as possible, okay? So what I do, which is very, very counterintuitive, is I offer my supplier more money per unit. And that sounds weird, and I know that sounds weird, but hear me out. So let's suppose that they want me to buy, I'm just going to use some simple math figures, okay? They want me to buy 200 units. Let's just do the maths here. 200 units at $5 a pop, which would give us a total investment or total capital at risk. Let's call it what it is. Total capital at risk of $1,000. Okay, so that's my capital I've now got at risk. But I don't want to put $1,000 at risk. I want to put as little as possible at risk. So instead, what I will do is I'll go back to them and say, hey, Mr. Supplier, how about instead of paying $5 a unit, I pay $6 a unit. So I'll pay you 20% more per unit, but I only want to have 100 units. So I'll pay 20% more and take less stock from you. So now what that means for me is my total capital at risk is now 600. So I'm 400 bucks. I've now got less at risk, if that makes sense. I feel like I've explained that shit-ass way for you, but hopefully the math makes sense for you. So I'm more interested in that. So that's what I will typically do, Dave, is in that situation, I'll go to them and increase the amount of money that I am prepared to pay per unit so that I can personally decrease the capital I've got at risk. And then, of course, what I do with my supplier is I focus on, in all of my language with them, the extra 20% I'm going to pay per unit, and I take their attention away from the fact that they're going to get $400 less. I take their attention away from that and focus on the extra 20% they'll get per unit. That's what I do. And then, of course, once you have tested your product, then you can go back to them and say, hey, my test was great. Now I'm going to order my 200 units. So I want my original price of $5 again. So you get your thing back. But again, my whole thing is I want to I want to fail and fail fast. That's what I want to do. I want to fail and fail fast. If I'm going to make a mistake, I want to get it out of the way as quickly as possible so I can move on to the next thing. So I want to know, with as little money as possible on the line, if my idea will work. If my idea will work. So that's what I would do in that situation, Davo. Will it give it a go? Do you think you would get 100 units when the MOQ is 2,000? No, I do not. Or would the price become too high? I think you've got to go to them and you've got to lay that out for them and see where you can meet. So negotiations, all about compromise, and I think you've just got to play the game and to see where you can get to. But again, for me, I am doing everything possible to reduce the amount of capital exposure that I've got. Until I know that my product works, I want to keep that figure as low as possible. So I don't care that I've only got 100 units coming in. I couldn't give a shit about that. What I'm interested in is that figure there. That's what I'm interested in. Again, I'm not trying to make profit to begin with. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to validate my idea as quickly as possible. It either works or it doesn't. I want to know as fast as possible, because if it does work, awesome. I want more stock now. I want my price now. But if it doesn't work, no worries. Let's move on to the second thing. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales I've used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.